So it's no secret that I'm a streamer. Basically every day on this channel, I will more likely than not be streaming, and any uploads you see will 9 times out of 10 be taken directly from my stream. You know, everyone knows I'm a streamer. And within that stream, there's chat, where you can interact and talk to other people watching the stream, and you can also ask me questions, you know, anything you're curious about. And one question that I get all the time, and this isn't just me, this is also basically like every streamer on the face of the planet, is what is your server? I don't think I've ever seen a server with this many bots on it. You know, I need to know. This has to be that secret server that all the YouTubers are playing on, because I just always see them going up against bots, and I want in. And all the time I tell them, no. Like, just play on your own server. Trust me, it doesn't matter. Even if this server had, you know, X amount more like bots than your server, there's this crazy thing in Apex called skill-based matchmaking, which means no matter what server you play on, you are going to be going up against people of your skill level. But people, they still don't believe me. I've made a video on this before, and people in the comment section are still convinced that their servers are the hardest in the world, and no one has it harder than them. So I wanted to put it to the test, and I went into every single server on the game and did a little experiment to see if I could find, you know, the sweatiest server or the easiest server, or just overall which servers you should avoid and you should not. And I wanted to talk to you guys about the results I found. I'll explain it a bit more in depth after this, you know, how I got my results, and then I'll talk about the results after I show them to you, but that's just the general gist of the video. So without further ado, I'll jump straight into it, and we'll start with explaining how exactly I wanted to get this data, how I wanted to find, you know, the easiest and the sweatiest servers out there. So the way I concluded would be best to kind of find out what is the sweatiest / easiest server was to basically go on the desired server, stay in the bus or the ship for the whole duration of it, just going across the map, look back and just count how many sweaty trails I see. And when I say sweaty trails, I mean any diamond, any pred, any master trails I see. And I didn't really differentiate how many like pred trails, or how many master trails, or how many diamond trails there were, which looking back on it, I probably should have, but at the time I just didn't think it was a big deal, because a lot of the time when you go up against a diamond player and a pred player, the only real difference is the pred player plays most. Because I think it's no secret by now that if you're pred, it's probably just because you have a lot more time played in ranked than other people. You still definitely have to be a very good player, you know what I mean? But you have to play a lot as well. So I didn't think it was that important, but looking back, I probably should have. If I do this again in the future, I definitely will. But that's how I kind of determine what was the sweatiest and non-sweaty servers. And I kind of wanted to do another way, and that was by getting the average kills and the average level of the people on each servers. But when I looked into this, it would be just way too difficult, because when you get a range of numbers that have like huge differences, like there were huge differences in levels and huge differences in kills, because I actually did it for a while, you're gonna need a lot of data to get accurate averages. Like the pred trail counting I did, they were all very small numbers. Like I don't think there was any time I got over 7 or 8 pred trails in one game, and that is on the very high end. But with levels, there were tons of level 100s, tons of level 1000s, you know, tons of in between. So to actually get a good, you know, depiction of the average level, you basically need the hard statistics from Respawn. So that was out, and on top of that, just the way of collecting the data, like with Apex Tracker, if you don't know, Apex Tracker won't actually display your correct amount of kills unless you have it kind of selected on. It's kind of hard to explain, but you need to basically go in and manually put on your kills in Apex Tracker. And you know, if someone hasn't done that, which I guarantee you most people haven't, it's not a good way of collecting data. So I didn't do that, and I just went with the Pred Trails because I had a big think about it, and that was literally the only way I could think that could actually see, you know, okay, this server has way more top tier players than the other server. I know there's really good players without Trails out there, but without hard, you know, statistics from Respawn, we're really not gonna know. So right now on screen, you are seeing the average amount of sweaty trails for each server in Apex Legends. Now, before you and all your boys jump onto Amsterdam servers thinking you finally cracked the code, you finally figured out, you know, where all the bot lobbies are, let me just take some time to unravel all this information and kind of explain to you guys why I still think this just proves that, you know, there is no sweatiest and no easiest server, and why all servers are basically the same, and you're still going to feel the wrath of skill-based matchmaking on all of them. So when I was doing this experiment, I was typing down the data, and all the data that I collected, I will put in the description down below. It'll be in the Google Doc that I typed it on. I was noticing this trend, and the trend was that most games were in the bracket of 4 to 7 sweaty trails per games. And when I say most games, I did 64 tests, and only 5 of those games didn't fall into that 4 to 7 bracket. And those 5 games directly relate to the highest and the lowest servers on the list. For example, Belgium. I had one game with Belgium where it got 8 trails, which is a lot. That was definitely the most I found. I didn't find any more than 8. I found a fair few 7s, but 8 was definitely the highest I found. I only found it once, and that pushed Belgium all the way up to the #1 position to 6. Amsterdam, Taiwan, Sao Paulo, and Dallas. Iowa, it was kind of just a bit low by itself. I think it had a lot of 4s, but all those other ones that I just said, they all had random games where they had between 1 to 3 sweat trails in one of their games, and that boosted them down all the way to the bottom. If you added just one more sweat into that game, they would all be in the 5s, and you would see it would all be consistent. However, you know, I'm not going to say that skill-based matchmaking is perfect. There are definitely anomalies with this. Some games you get are literal scrims. I've had games where I've had like a group of 10 people that I know all Preds. I've had games where there was literally not one trail at all, because these anomalies happen. If you're waiting in queue for long enough and skill-based matchmaking just isn't there, the game's not going to make you sit around for ages. It happens all the time for me because, you know, I'm on a pretty low populated server. I'm on Sydney. But yeah, like I said, to me, the fact that basically every single game was in between 4 to 7, basically every game it's stuck to that pattern, I feel like that just screams consistency, and that all servers are consistent with that range. And it purely just comes down to, you know, how many sweaty people just readied up at the same time. You know, if there's like one person waiting to get in the game's not going to be like, alright, we need one more sweat. We need to wait for him to queue up. It's just got to put another one in because it doesn't want you sitting there. So that's my take on it, but you know, obviously it's open into interpretation. What do you guys think of it? Do you think I'm wrong and that, you know, Belgium is the sweatiest, Amsterdam is not sweaty, or your server is super sweaty and this server is not? Just let me know in the description below. And one thing that I just realized I forgot to mention in the previous one, I tried to do these all at the same time because this is just my personal experience. It might not really matter. I found that sometimes in the morning, it is a lot less sweaty than in the night. So basically, all these results that I gathered were recorded at around, I think it was from 4 to 8 p.m. I would have liked it to be from like 6 to 8 p.m. but you know, time zones, it gets a bit iffy, you know, doing stuff that's on the other side of the planet, you know. So I tried my best, but they're all recorded within a 4-hour period. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys think. I think it just shows consistency and that all servers are the same, and you know, there's anomalies. There's always going to be anomalies, and that's probably, you know, the games you see on YouTube, the games you see from the YouTubers. If you got, you know, a decent sweaty team in there, you're probably not going to get a good game, because not only is there a good chance they're going to kill you, but there's a pretty good chance that they're going to steal a lot of kills as well. But that is it from your boy. I hope this, you know, kind of showed you something, or you can take this information and do whatever you want with it. If you just want to take it out of context, say, hey, my server's sweatiest, I don't know, go for it. I don't care. But, you know, at least hit that video with a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, you know, all that stuff. And that's it for me, boy. I'll catch you all in the next one.